This video is sponsored by Tilden Interrent Thunder Bay, Merlin Productions, and Thunder Bay Communications.
Welcome to Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. And here we are at the 1995 Nordic World Ski Championships. Join me as we take a quick look back at the 11 days of thunder.
The Nordic Championships open with pomp and ceremony at the base of Big Thunder ski jumps, attended by an enthusiastic crowd. Old Fort William, the transshipment point for the Northwest Company, began the festivities with a reenactment of the Rendezvous Festival. This is also a rendezvous for elite Nordic athletes. For every 2 years, the games are held, and Canada is playing host for the first time ever. A native teepee is opened to represent the importance our Indigenous people have played in the development of our country. A lone piper leads in officials and local dignitaries to join the festivities. As the group disbands, the McGillivray Pipe Band salutes the Northwest Company. To announce the arrival of the athletes, muskets are shot into the air, while spectators jump to the sound of the cannon.
And now the moment
Chimik, the official mascot of the Nordics, leads the procession as Sweden, the last host of the Nordics, enters the stadium. Followed by Austria. The team from Belarus features Nordic combined athletes and 9 cross-country skiers. While Belgium offers a team of 3 cross-country athletes to the games, Bulgaria, by the Black Sea, brings 1 ski jumper and coach. Croatia is followed by the Czech Republic, who are currently ranked 8th on the World Cup ski jumping circuit. Representing Denmark are 4 cross-country skiers, while 13 athletes are representing Estonia. Finland, meanwhile, is ranked 3rd overall in cross-country and 1st in World Cup ski jumping, making them a formidable opponent. France brings to the stage 21 world-class athletes. Germany will be producing great action with 28 competitors. Its ski jumpers are ranked 4th worldwide. Greece, Iceland, and Italy are also proudly showing their flags. With stars like Manuela De Centa and Silvio Fauner, anything is possible in these championships. Watch Japan as they're preparing to host the 1998 Winter Olympics. They've certainly demonstrated their skill over the past year. Other countries are here: Kazakhstan, Korea, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Netherlands, and New Zealand, and let's not forget Norway, bringing 30 athletes ready to compete. Now entering the procession of athletes, Canada, host of these championships. While Slovenia, Slovak Republic, Spain, and Sweden all march in anticipation of good competition. Canada's team consists of 14 cross-country skiers, 4 Nordic combined athletes, and 6 ski jumpers, with 35 support members in tow. Over 10,000 spectators came here to watch. Other countries who are here to test their endurance and skill include Poland, Romania, Russia, Turkey, Ukraine, and our neighbors to the south, the United States of America. In all, 36 nations and 711 athletes are here to compete with the best from around the world. Local and regional First Nations dancers join the athletes with what is known as the Grand Entry. The circle is an important symbol for the First Nations people, symbolizing unity and representing the heartbeat. Each dancer shows off their style of dance and regalia. A colorful hoop with a sinew dream catcher woven inside has been ceremoniously presented to Russia. The Nordic dancers in turn present the rest of the nations with dream catchers. Bob Ray, Ontario's premier, addresses the crowd.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, I just want to say to those who come from away how welcome you are in Ontario and in Canada, how proud all of us are with these games. They've been an affair of the heart for the entire community of Thunder Bay and the Northwest. And all of us in Ontario have been so proud to support these games, to welcome all the athletes from all over the world, and to know that something very special is going to be happening here throughout this great competition.
This is a community where we celebrate many of the world's cultures. This is a community which celebrates and honors its historic diversity while recognizing that there is more that unites us than divides us. It is my sense, Mr. Hodler, and members of the Federation of International Ski, that the winter warmth which you feel around you has united this community in a very real way.
Bob Edwards, chair of the Nordic Organizing Committee, is happy with Thunder Bay's response to the Nordic Dream. The FIS flag was led out by the host of the last Nordic World Championships, held in Falun, Sweden. Some of the best former Canadian athletes also assisted in marching the flag to its place on the flagpole. The crowd shows its excitement as the flag is hoisted. Jeremy Begg of Team Canada delivers the athlete's oath.
In the name of all competitors, I pledge that we will compete in these Nordic World Ski Championships in the true spirit of fair play and sportsmanship, respecting and abiding by the rules for the glory and integrity of Nordic sport and the honor of our countries.
As a display of the chosen athletes' excitement for this competition, the flag bearers break free, exciting the crowd with their own form of patriotism. The torch, lit earlier in the day at the Terry Fox Monument, is paraded around the stadium by Pierre Harvey, Canada's most accomplished cross-country skier. The Nordic Torch is a new ceremony introduced by the Thunder Bay organization in deference to the example set by the Olympic Games. Pierre waits at the bottom of the jump hill as Steve Collins, Canada's most decorated ski jumper, takes the 90-meter jump. The torch is taken by Steve Collins, completing the 35-kilometer torch relay and lighting the Nordic cauldron. For Canada and the world, the Nordic Ski Championships officially begin. Dolly, the determined. Ulvang, the Terminator. And Smirnov, the Kazakhstan Comet. For the Canadians, these are the men they'll have to beat to win a medal. The conditions are cold and clear for the first race of the championships. The 30-kilometer classic style course requires intense mental concentration to compete. Donald Farley of Canada is quick off the mark with Smirnov, an Olympic gold medalist, and Dolly of Norway on his heels. Silvio Fauner of Italy is ready for the challenge, while Vegard Ulvang defends his crown. The terrain tests everyone's skill. Mika Mulila of Finland shows power and determination. Meanwhile, Danny Bouchard of Canada is hanging on to the pack. Vladimir Smirnov sets a blistering pace at the beginning of the race that builds him a substantial lead. Exhaustion greets everyone at the finish line. For Dolly and Smirnov, winning is all that matters as they approach the stadium. Smirnov finishes with an impressive time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, 52 seconds. Meanwhile, Dolly finishes exhausted with a mild bout of the flu. He's 1 minute behind the pace set by Smirnov. While Ulvang finishes with a disappointing 8th place performance. Donald Farley and Danny Bouchard, the Canadians, finished 32nd and 33rd, a respectable accomplishment. Alexei Prokhorov of Russia is taking the bronze. Bjorn Dali brings the silver home to Norway. And 6-foot-tall, 185-pound Vladimir Smirnov from Kazakhstan wins the first gold medal of the championships. Day 1 comes to a close with the Canadians very happy with their performance. One of the hardest classic-style races on the World Cup circuit, with relentless climbs, is about to begin. Rhonda DeLong, a Canadian veteran, prepares for the race, while Canadian supporters look on. The Canadians get ready to set off on the 15-kilometer race, but Canada is overshadowed by the dominance of the Russian team. Larissa Lazatina is a veteran, and so is her teammate Elena Balbe, who wins the silver medal. Inger Helene Nybraden wins the bronze. Larissa Lazutina brings home a gold, and the Russian team holds on to its world dominance. Later in the day, the K90 individual jumping takes place. Damien Carson watches as Canadian teammate Jeremy Baig jumps. Kenji Ogiwara of Japan wins the event with teammate Takanori Kono in second, and Ryan Heckman placing third for the United States. Day 3 will see the continuation of the Nordic combined event with the 15-kilometer cross-country race. With the weather warming, the Trondheim delegation for the 1997 Nordic World Ski Championships watches Thunder Bay's volunteers in action.
In the past, I've worked, with the ski jumping when they've been in here, but I mean, this just gives you a thrill. It's a pretty stiff competition when you've got the whole world, here, and we're just thrilled to keep on seeing such great competition.
I always thought this was a good event, but, for a while there when we heard that the Nordics were under budgeted and whatnot, you were sort of considering, well, is it going to be a good event, or are we going to put on a world-class event and have people want to come here? But now when I see it, it's really exciting, and I think we've done a really good job.
Over 400 volunteers make the cross-country event run smoothly. From ski inspection to trail grooming, the job is demanding. Athletes now prepare for the men's 10-kilometer classic race. Robin McKeever and Donald Farley mentally prepare for this race, visualizing, anticipating the course lying ahead. Danny Bouchard takes off from the starting gate. Finland's Mika Mulala continues his sprint towards the finish, but Dali and Smirnov maintain the lead. Towards the finish line, Mulala knows the race is tight and gives everything he has to beat Dali. But is it enough? Again, Dali proves he has what it takes to be one of the best. Mika Mulala wins bronze. Had he gone 1.4 seconds faster, it would have been silver. But that medal went to Bjorn Dali of Norway. And ever strong, Vladimir Smirnov wins his second gold medal, and with it, a sense of achievement. As the day continues, temperatures rise from -2 to +9 Celsius. And snow goes from hard pack to porridge, making it difficult for all athletes. The Nordic combined sport requires an all-round sports excellence in ski jumping and cross-country, which combines the precision of flying on skis and the endurance of a 15-kilometer sprint. Damien Carson of Calgary is on the final leg of this event. As he comes closer to the finish line, the roar from the Canadian crowd deafens. For many of the Canadian spectators, such an event has never been witnessed before. For athlete and spectator alike, there are many opportunities to learn. That's exactly what the Canadian team is doing here, gaining experience for future events. As Carson waves his ski pole over his head, it's clear to see that he's happy with this result. Jeremy Begg is putting in every ounce of energy to complete his race. Over the past year, Jeremy's training has been taking place in Europe. Now to return to Canada to compete on home turf in a World Championships is a dream come true. Meanwhile, Rob Keith is finding the course very demanding. His strengths are in his cross-country technique. He's currently living and training in Calgary and has been with the team since 1987. Like others on this team, this event builds experience for future challenges. The spectators are waiting for his arrival, and they're ready to cheer with all their might as he appears. As you can see, Keith finds this an uphill climb. With flags waving, the ovation comes from the stadium as Rob Keith takes the final stretch home at the Nordic World Ski Championships in 1995 in Thunder Bay. Although it's not a trip to the podium this time, the Canadians have a solid performance to build on for the next Nordic World Ski Championships. Sylvain Guillaume of France wins the bronze medal. Jari Mantala of Finland smiles as he finishes for silver. And today's champion, the gold medal winner, Fred Lundberg of Norway. Day 4 brings more unseasonably warm weather. Hard work by the volunteers keeps the spring runoff away as the athletes get ready to compete in the Women's 5K Classic. Canada's Nancy Dassey mentally prepares for the sprint. Larissa Lazzatina is going for her second gold. While Italy's Manuela De Centa knows she's going to have to work hard to beat the Russians. Nina Gavriluk and her experienced comrades are winners. But can De Centa get a medal? De Centa finishes the race and manages to cause an upset, winning a bronze medal and pushing Elena Valbe of Russia into 4th place by only 6 seconds. Nina Gavriluk places second. And it's her teammate, Larissa Lazzatina, needing more room on the mantle as she brings home her 3rd gold medal. The K90 ski jumping event is held under warm temperatures. Spectators gather to watch Jason Mislicki, the youngest Canadian, start the competition. Jason, not new to ski jumping, started when he was 11 years old. Traveling at a speed of 85 kilometers per hour on the takeoff, he lands at the 74-meter mark. But it's not enough, as Mika Laininen of Finland goes the distance to win bronze. Hiroya Sato, with great ease and style, captures silver for Japan. And Takanobu Okabe makes an awesome leap for gold. He flies through the air with control and confidence and manages to reach the 100-meter mark, which means only one thing, a gold medal. And for Japan, a day to remember. Smirnov warms up and gets ready to start the 15-kilometer free technique pursuit. The start order is determined from results of Day 3's 10-kilometer race. For the fans, this race is exciting because whoever crosses the finish line first wins. For Smirnov, he must maintain his lead to achieve gold. Over 1 foot of snow has melted, causing a unique problem for skiers and organizers. Winter buildup of airborne particulate has been sticking to the bottom of athletes' skis, causing slower speeds. Team leaders held an emergency meeting and decided solvent-soaked cloth could be laid across the tracks to clean the skis. As Silvio Fauner and Jari Isometsa climb, watch as an Italian coach pulls the boards out from under Isometsa, nearly causing an upset in his stride. Action was later taken, disciplining that coach. Smirnov wins the pursuit with a lead of 30 seconds over the next competitor. Silvio Fauner places second and is ahead of Isometsa by 0.3 of a second. And Canada's Robin Keith is happy with his performance, moving ahead 9 places over the last race to end up in 47th position. Silvio's sprint wins him the silver. While Jari Isometsa claims the bronze, and for the Kazakhstan Comet, it's his 3rd gold medal. He becomes the first World Cup skier to win 3 individual titles.
$300 million people seeing what we have out here. The weather's been fabulous, of course. It's caused some competition problems, but that's not a problem for us. The legacy in terms of the infrastructure is always going to be here. And I think what people are seeing in Europe particularly, and certainly Japan, who are just ecstatic about the Nordics, I'm almost certain that there's going to be an impact. I'm certain that people are going to certainly know where Thunder Bay is. We're not North Bay.
Thunder Bay is situated at the head of the Great Lakes and is bordered by the Nor'Wester Mountains. The temperature is still rising and conditions are wet with fine-grained snow. Snow worshippers are out bathing in the warmth as the women's 10K free technique pursuit is about to start. Larissa Lazutina is going for her 3rd gold medal. Teammate Nina Gavrila knows the obstacles she must face. And Manuela DeCenta receives her starting instructions. When it's all over, Larissa finishes first, overcoming a very difficult course. And Nina finishes 25 seconds later to grab second. The Canadian team finishes with Becky Scott in 43rd position. and Lucy Steele in 47th. Lazutina finally gets her third gold medal of the championships. Gavriluk finds silver, and Olga Danilova gets the bronze medal. For Russia, it's a very sweet victory. 3 medals. Eleven teams are entered in the Nordic combined 90-meter ski jump. Watch as CTV Sports gives us an awesome shot of the takeoff. The Canadian team tries hard but falls to the back of the pack as United States, Sweden, and Japan get medals. This hill is perfectly groomed for the event, with the help of volunteers and staff, making it a spectacular event to watch. Takanori Kono of Japan mentally prepares for his flight through the air. Japan wins the gold and is all set for tomorrow's 4x5 team relay. The conditions at Big Thunder Sports Park remain the same, with very mild weather. Organizers are confident there will be enough snow for all the remaining events. Spring is certainly in the air, as spectators flock to capture the event. Sponsors can also be seen in the crowd, and you can be assured they want Japan to win. The 4x5 kilometer relay team event takes place on one of the toughest courses, thanks to Marty Hall, the trail designer. Athletes will climb a vertical of 65 meters over the 5-kilometer course. Artificial snow paves the way for the athletes to start gliding through the woods. Takanori Kono holds the Japanese lead as Team Norway prepares to tag for the final lap. Fred Lundberg maintains the pace with 1.3 kilometers to go to finish the sprint. Jean-Yves Quindet of Switzerland works hard as he starts to pass through the stadium. Curtis Metzger, with style, knows how to fire up the crowd by showing the maple leaf. Team Canada, although placing poorly, can always be proud of the magnificent show put on during the championships by all concerned. Metzger's team, although defeated, knows there will be another day and another race. Meanwhile, Quindet finishes the race for Switzerland any way he can. Norway's Lundberg smiles as he takes silver. And winning gold in front of one of the biggest television audiences is the Japanese team. The women's 4x5 relay begins under ideal conditions.
This event is really great because we get to see a lot of good athletes and good culture mix too.
I'm from Barrie, which is north of Toronto, and I think the event coming here really shows that Canada has the world-class facilities, and we have the ability to host such world-class events, and it's a good image for Canada overall.
The race begins with a mass start, and 15 teams are set loose to compete for the title, but only one can win. Odds are the Russians will continue to dominate the women's cross-country events, but who will be second? Who will be third? In the first lap, Russia leads, followed by Norway, Sweden, the Czech Republic, and Finland. The Russian team is still ahead at the end of the first lap, as Larissa Lazutina maintains a lead of 15 seconds ahead of the Norwegians and 30 seconds ahead of the Swedes. Exhaustion hits Ann Frithoff of Sweden. The heat is still on as Larissa is tailed by Inger Helene Nybraten and Marie-Helene Ostlund. Elena Valbe, with her recognizable style, powers along during lap 3. Now, it's up to Nina Gerlich to finish the final lap. Larissa knows she's done her bit. It's up to her teammate to carry on where she left off. Sweden's Antonina Ordina's pace in the third lap has created a small lead for the last lap. Sweden's Annette Vanquist holds the pace as Norway's Anita Moen Guidon is determined to take back second. Larissa and her team are confident of winning gold as they watch Gerlich come into the stadium. But the real race is for second. Can the Norwegians come from behind to win silver? Team Norway places second, but not by much. 1/10 of a second, making this the closest race of the championships. No matter how you look at it, a photo finish to a superlative race. Team Russia wins gold in the 4x5 relay, with Larissa Lazutina now collecting her 4th gold medal. The crowd has certainly witnessed an exciting race, In 2 days from now, the women will meet again for the final challenge of the championships, the 30-kilometer free technique. Now, from cross-country skiing to the 120-meter team ski jumping event. With over 10,000 spectators gathered, everyone's waiting for the event to begin. The hill's in perfect condition, and the 11 teams are anxious to begin. But first, the athletes must focus before they hurtle themselves down the in-run at 90 kilometers per hour into darkness. Dan Cardis takes the jump. He lands at the 97-meter mark. For Canada, things are not looking good as the combined points leave them in 10th position. For the team, they're hopeful the experience of this championships will one day bring Canada a much-deserved medal. Meanwhile, Finland's Mika Lehtinen grabs gold. Germany's Jans Weissflog returns his team to the podium for the silver. And Japan's Tokanabu Okabe's team takes home the bronze. Leightonen's final jump of 131 meters was stunning and a real crowd pleaser, considering it was the last jump of the night. Team Finland has lots to be proud of. Pumping fists and twirling skis is how Laplanders celebrate striking gold. Day 9, and the snow is still evaporating. Spectators do a special dance in hopes snow will arrive. The men's 4x5 relay begins with 17 teams entered. The crowd cheers as 17 men fight for one track that will bring their team a gold medal. Three minutes into the race, the pack is still together. Russia is leading at the 15-minute mark. While Finland and Austria take up second and third position, Italy holds on to fourth. Norway is in fifth. Ten minutes later, Italy takes the lead with Austria and the Czech Republic in tow. Donald Farley is 2 minutes off the pace, and on the second lap, Canada holds 11th place. Italy and Norway are neck and neck. But Norway's Erling Juvna is determined to win and moves his team into first place. It's still anyone's race as the three Scandinavian countries, Norway, Sweden, and Finland, fight it out at the beginning of lap 3. Mediterranean nation Italy is not far behind as the freestyle technique lap begins. Bjorn Dali creates a considerable gap on the uphill and now has a commanding lead over his rivals. The Norwegian fans cheer on Thomas Algaard, who last year during the Lillehammer Olympics won a gold in the 30K free technique. As Jarius Sometsa leaves on his lap, he's 1 minute 16 seconds behind the leader, with Sweden and Italy behind him. Italy's Silvio Fauner on the uphill grinds past Sweden's Anders Bergström to gain third position. With a lead of 43 seconds, Team Norway cheers as Algaard carries the flag to the finish line. Finland comes in second and receives the silver. And it's a battle for third. Italy wins the bronze by a second. And Yves Bilodeau finishes the race in 10th place, giving Canadians something to cheer about. Lucy Steele prepares for the 30-kilometer individual free technique, knowing she'll have to tap all her energy to finish the race in good time. The weather conditions are cool, with coarse-grained snow. For the women, the 30K is a new event and has meant extra training and preparation. What goes through the athlete's mind moments before the race? Some close their eyes and visualize the course, while others focus on one thing: winning. But today, another obstacle awaits, for the course is a little icy due to the sudden change in temperature, causing some athletes to slip and slide. Antonina Ordina of Sweden seems to be having little trouble. Steele keeps up the pace, but she's also unlucky and hits a rough spot on this course. Larissa works every muscle on the uphill to fight for another gold as her coach yells encouragement. Germany's Sigrid Veal wipes out, leaving the course. But she still manages to finish the race in 13th position. And even gold medalists can be bitten by that bug. Antonino Ordino wins the bronze, 31 seconds behind the winner. Manuela De Centa deserves the silver for all her hard work this season. And yes, a Russian wins another gold medal. This time, it's Elena Valbe. Tomorrow's athletes look on as the last jumping event is about to begin. The snow finally arrives as nervous jumpers await their turn. This newly constructed warming hut is bolted to the underside of the 120-meter in-run. It provides warmth and comfort prior to the exit onto the world stage of ski jumping. These young men are about to face the roar of the crowd. The spectators wait far below for their performance.
I think that a lot of people will finally know where Thunder Bay is. You know, they'll know that we have some top class, some high class hills out here, ski trails. People will come out here for holidays. It'll be a good economic impact on the city. Merchandising, you know, everybody's buying Thunder Bay merchandising, clothing. They're bringing people into some of the stores and keeping people busy and maybe working a few more hours than they would normally get during this time of the year.
Jason Mislicki of Canada starts the competition by taking the plunge. His jump takes him to 73 meters. Not enough to qualify for the second round. Stefan Tallberg is momentarily lost in the clouds as he jumps. Thunder Bay's own John Lockyer falls short with a jump of only 70 meters. Then it's into high gear as Jans Weissflog of Germany flies through the air and lands at the 125.5 meter mark. Andreas Goldberger of Austria then jumps and manages to go further. 127.5 meters. Finally, it's Tommy Ingebrigtsen. All eyes are skyward as he takes the final turn. To everyone's amazement, Ingebrigtsen has broken the hill record. The crowd's on its feet applauding the incredible finish. Weissflog and Goldberger also in the medals. Ingebrigtsen's coach is congratulated, and Tommy knows there's going to be a big celebration back in the hometown of Trondheim. Now for the replay. Watch Ingebrigtsen's style. Solid V formation, arms close to his side, his body parallel to his skis. A great jump. What a fitting end to the ski jumping. And it's easy to see why he's a coach, not a jumper. He forgot his skis. Jens Weissblau wins the silver medal with 229 points. Andreas Goldberger takes home the silver with 259 points. But today is Tommy Ingebrigtsen's day. He wins the gold medal with hopes of again winning in Trondheim, his hometown. They're hosting the 1997 Nordic World Ski Championships when Thunder Bay passes on the torch. The championships close with the men's 50-kilometer free technique race. Vladimir Smirnov just keeps on going and finishes with 3 golds, 1 bronze for the 50K. Bjorn Dahle placed 2nd overall. He was in the lead for the most part by 1.5 minutes, but he fell back and finishes silver. And finally, coming into his own, Silvio Fauner gets his gold medal. Normally a sprinter, after building a lead of 1 minute and 12 seconds in the longest Nordic race. Now the woods of northwestern Ontario have been returned back to nature. And someday soon, the forest will come alive again with the sounds of competition, spectators cheering, the swish of skis. For the volunteers and organizers, the challenge has been met with great success, and now the games must return to Europe. Canada now has the infrastructure, the community, the expertise, and many hope the event which brought local people together for a common cause and folks the world over to Thunder Bay can once again be staged in the rugged beauty of the lakehead. Now it's time to say goodbye, and as the organizers and volunteers alike often said in the closing days, FTN, forever the Nordics.